Hello, welcome back. Today we have a special guest. He's a big technology fan and a very important figure in ZiXXar. I'm talking about Cosmin Tronaru. Hello, Cosmin.
Hi, pleasure to meet you here.
Well, after the first time you saw the studio, it was a must to have a discussion here.
Yeah, I couldn't wait for it.
Cool. Thank you for making time to be here today. I know it's not easy in this period before Christmas.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that we will have a very interesting discussion about how you see ZiXXar, how you see the company, how you see the products, using your tech background. So to start with, just give us some bullet points about your background, about your tech background.
I grew up as a gamer, first of all. I grew up in a small town here in Romania, in Argeș, Costești. I keep saying the name everywhere because it's like less than 10,000 of us. So we have to make it known to the people. And then I moved to high school in Pitești, and I studied informatics in high school. And 20 years ago, I actually moved to Bucharest, studying computer engineering. Not because I liked it per se, even though I did, but I liked the creative part of it, like the gaming industry and, I don't know, designing and 3D and everything. But because everybody was doing that, like if you're good at math in Romania, you have to go to Polytechnica University to study computer engineering, pretty much, or to be a teacher and go to another university just to learn how to teach. And in college, I only had one course of programming. The teacher was Chinese. He couldn't speak Romanian good. We couldn't speak Chinese. Nobody was speaking English in the class. But I got to be a programmer after all, even though my background is like industrial robots. We were taught back then how to program the robots in the big industries. But back then in Romania in 2005, 6, 7, we didn't have so much opportunities like we have now. And I was staying in a campus. We were staying like 4 in a room, and one of the guys was a programmer, and he said, well, I know you need the money, they're hiring in our company. So I studied Java a little bit, and I said, okay, I'm just gonna start as a Java programmer for 1, 2, 3 years, and then I'm gonna do what I love most. And fast forward 10 years, I was still a Java programmer. I only had 2 jobs. I stayed in a company for like almost 6 years and in another one for like 4 years until 2017. But because it wasn't my main focus to write code, I was doing it as a job. I started to find something else so I could just retire myself. And then I started to work with people. And it was completely different. Man, that was totally different. In 2010, I went to a presentation, a webinar, not a webinar, it was live, with a friend of mine in a room filled with people, and everybody was like laughing and hugging each other. I found it a bit awkward for myself because, I was working in a big department of programmers and everybody was minding his own business. People were only talking at coffee or outside for a smoke. But I liked the vibe. And I kept close, and I started to invest a little bit in myself because I was part of the statistic that says that after college, 80% of people never read a book in their lives again, meaning like to teach something new, to learn something new. And I was part of those 80%. And I said, with what I've done until now, if I don't like what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, I need to change something regarding myself. And well, when I was programming, I said, I think it's better to work with people because like I kept, like every programmer, you get stuck on a bug for like 1, 2, 3 days and it's blowing your head up. But when you start working with people, you say, well, I think it was better as a programmer because, if you have a bug, when you take a break, the bug doesn't come after you to keep talking and, asking something new, but people are doing so. But I think we did a pretty decent job until 2014. I found out about a nice idea that I started with some great friends, our godparents. They are IT guys as well, Marius and Stefania. And since 2014 until 2020, we built up a community all over Europe and expanding in the world, working with people, working with human behavior, with teaching people how to understand better other people. Selling, of course, because my opinion is that if you're not selling something, you're automatically buying something. We sell ourselves every day, and we buy other people's opinions. And that was until 2020 when the world changed.
So you started as a gamer. After that, you tackled programming for a few years, and now you are working with people. So it's quite interesting because the switch is like very big. Talking about games, you seem a very busy guy. Do you still have time for games? Are you still playing?
You know, the way I see it, once a gamer, always a gamer. Doesn't matter the age.
That's true.
Yeah, I have a great friend. I used to live in the same house with him, and because he was playing too much, he started deleting his game. We were playing Dota back then, Dota 1 before Dota 2 came on. And after a couple of weeks, we just told him, bro, just stop deleting it, because every night we were playing, we need one man, and we're waiting for you to install it back again. It doesn't help, like you're deleting it every day.
It's not time efficient.
Yeah. Like for me, gaming and watching some TV shows and stuff like that, it just helps me to just take a break. I know it sounds a bit tricky because like when you're playing like CSGO or Dota and this sort of games, you need to be in there. But my mind being just in the game for the game, it just clears all the other stuff.
Well, it's an active break, so
Yeah.
it works if it meets the purpose.
Yeah.
Cool. Technology, right? This is an important word for us as a company. And it's very important to work with people who understand the technology, and you are one of them. And the most important thing is that you can pass your knowledge to the other guys, right? Because if something is too complicated, you can put it in usual words just to make the things understood.
Yeah.
When is the first time when you heard about ZiXXar?
I think I heard in 2021 when you guys opened the shop here in Bucharest. I knew about the company. I read about the background because I always do that. I read about the founders and all the online information. I didn't get to meet the people per se. I was involved in another company back then doing blockchain education. When 2020 hit and everybody got to stay inside, what we were doing prior to that, like big events with thousands of people all over the world, suddenly stopped, and we're doing it online. And instead of having like 30 events in the same weekend all over the world with like 2-3 trainers at each of them, we only had one event online. So a lot of us had a lot of spare time. So I got to decide what I want to do with that time. And I said, I want to learn 3 things. I want to learn more about real estate to understand how it goes, to learn a bit about trading to see if it's for me, and to learn about a lot about blockchain, because the technology is here to stay. Blockchain, not exactly crypto, because what we keep telling people, there can be a blockchain without crypto, and not the other way around. So I spent a bit of time into real estate, going to some courses, spending some time with some friends just to understand the macro stuff of it. Trading, I got to understand, is not exactly for me. I had my watch on and I kept seeing my heart rate going up and down while I was trading, and I said, okay, I need my calmness. And then I focused fully on blockchain. And prior, when I still had my job, I worked in a big bank in Romania for a couple of years, and I had a direct boss, I can call him boss, really stand-up guy. And I got to see something when I was in the meetings with him. We had meetings like we are the development department. And when we had the meetings, we had them with HR, with business, with marketing. And most of the people from HR, business, and marketing are not technical people. But somehow he got everybody to understand what he was building. And I kept paying attention to him. Cătălin is his name. And I said, man, that's a really powerful skill. It's like the way I like to say it, we translate from Romanian to Romanian here in Bucharest. Because if you can make the non-technical people understand the technical parts, they can really see the power of what you want to build. Because nowadays people don't have patience anymore. We want instant gratitude. So people sometimes fail to understand how much it can take to a programmer to build something after they got the model. The architect, yeah, it's really important because you need to have the proper structure to build the proper foundation for it. But it takes a lot of time to program the things. And I kept paying attention to him. I think I have a natural gift of storytelling because that's how I grew up. My father was a great storyteller, and I heard a lot of stories from him, and they were captivating me. Like when I start speaking, I forget what time it is, and I just keep going. So you might be in for a long podcast. And I jumped into a company that was educating people on the blockchain, NFTs, metaverse part of it, but the real stuff, not like the crypto fluctuation and the people selling just images, telling other people their NFTs, like the actual stuff, And we got to a lot of people, There's a lot of people we're still meeting today that say, hey, it was after I saw you guys that I start to read somewhere into it. Because the way I see it, you only need to captivate their attention to understand that what you're saying is for real. And then, for sure, they have to study some more. And it was in that time that I found out about CryptoData. And it triggered me because I was in the space for like 1 year. I knew pretty much all the companies that were building on blockchain in Romania, most of them, let's say, and outside. But I never heard of CryptoData. You guys were really low profile. And then I saw that happening, and with the products, with the first phone, with the cold wallet stuck into it, and I was like, man, that's really something. Because nowadays, most of the companies have only marketing. It should be, the way I see it, at least 80% development and the rest marketing, because you need marketing. Most of the companies have it the other way around. And seeing a company that's developing an actual product, I know what it takes, to go and build it, to make the plans and everything. It means that the company has some powerful side on the development part. But I only saw you guys back in 2021 for a little bit. I didn't get to meet anybody in the company. And then 1 more year passed until I got to see ZiXXar. And in the beginning, I didn't realize that ZiXXar and CryptoData were the same thing, meaning like ZiXXar is the marketing platform of CryptoData. Because I got a phone call from a friend of mine, Manu. He's number one right now in the company in Europe on what we're building. And he told me, listen, they started to do affiliate marketing, network marketing. And that's what we built with people prior to the pandemic for 7 years. So in this point, I was in a position where I found out about a company that has the tech part that I loved, that has the people building part that I've learned to love for a lot of years, and that I stopped doing not because I wanted to, but because the pandemic hit at the company that we were building. We had 2 components, like travel and personal development, and we couldn't do any of them. And on top of that, because in the pandemic for 3 years I studied blockchain, this company also had this component. So it was the trifecta for me, And I only had one more thing to do, to start building here, to get to know the people who are running the company. Because for me, that's the most important thing. If the people behind any idea don't have the drive to go long term, it doesn't matter how good the idea it is.
So overall, pandemic brought technology forward.
Yeah.
Right? It was a good time for people to sit down and to learn more about technology, because we needed the technology to continue to work, to continue to study, to continue our lives like they were before.
Well,
Do you think in Romania
yeah.
The pandemic brought more awareness in this field, in the technology field?
And not only in Romania. It was sad times, because it wasn't happy times, but it doesn't make me happy to say it, but this is the way it is. When it's sad times, the technology thrives in wars, in everything, because people somehow gather together for a single goal. We need technology. Like, technology is running the world. I know every job in this world, it's a part of a big mechanism. But if you take the technology out of everything, we would go back hundreds of years.
Yeah, but Cosmin, joining a video call is not understanding technology, right?
Yeah.
Because for a lot of people working in pandemic from home was just joining a video call, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about more complex things, like you said. One of the points for that 3-year period was to understand blockchain, to learn more about blockchain. So after these 3 years, you found a new passion. You were already in the field. So why ZiXXar?
Most of the companies that use blockchain and crypto promote the crypto because they know it's a powerful hook to get more money. Most of the people that got into crypto, they said, I'm buying low to sell high, even though most of them are doing it the other way around, because we're emotional beings and we only give a rational explanation after that. But what I saw here, I saw a company that's promoting the technology, the blockchain, not even talking about crypto. Like, even we know that the first devices could give you rewards in crypto, we were specifically asked when we promote the product to say that's just something extra. That's not the main purpose of the devices. The main purpose of the devices is the security that it can offer. And I like that also because in our history, us as a country, we're not so into preventing stuff in any field of our like, we're going to the doctor most of the time only after something hurts, and this also applies in technology. But when you have a company that it's ahead of its time, because the way I see it right now, we are still ahead of our times with ZiXXar and CryptoData, because people yet fail to understand how dangerous it is not to have your data secured. You lose your phone, you have your phone stolen. I can bet that 90% of the people, if this happens, I hope it doesn't, but if it happens, they don't think that they lost a phone which cost $1,000. They think that they lost access to their emails and to their account. It's just in that point that they realize how important the security of the data is. And in here, it's exactly this. Like, I'm not trying to be subjective, but it's some real powerful stuff that can help the people. And you guys wrapped it up in a way that it's really easy to use, even for non-technical people. With the new products, man, it's gonna be easy.
Regarding the new products, so you saw the Hyder Revo. Probably the first product, the first phone that we put on the market was a bit ahead of his time, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't something that the user is used to. Right? The customer is not used to have that type of phone.
At all.
So the blockchain technology, if you want to develop software based on blockchain technology, it is not as user friendly as the system that the customers already know. Do you think that was a issue because the people were not happy with the response of the software, how it looked?
Yeah, you might say that, but not because the product wasn't really user friendly, but because people are reluctant to change. They're like, even if you have an app and you need to click twice to go to what you want to have on that app, people say it's one click too many. We became really lazy, you know. We're just used to scroll, and that's it. And with the first phone, people realized that they can just buy it to use it as a second of their phones because they didn't have their Android on it, you know. But I was on vacation last summer, and I had my laptop with me because the laptop functions with the same thing, you know. And I forgot it in my luggage, and I went for a walk, and I just had it in a compartment, you know, somewhere placed in a hotel. And when I was walking, I remembered that it's actually my laptop with my my NFT wallet, full NFT wallet and everything. And I was like, man, if somebody takes my luggage, they're only one password away to get everything I have, you know, because it's logged in there. You don't need an extra measure of.
Well, I hope that you set complicated passwords.
Yeah, that I do, you know. But it was in that moment that I understood, man, it's really powerful to have, you know, your device secured, your secure device with you, because it helps a lot. And it was attractive still to the people that realized this stuff back in 2018, 19, but it was so few of us worldwide that understood blockchain, not what CryptoData created, blockchain overall. Even in this period, like if you look on Ethereum, which is like the biggest one that people build on, I think right now it's less than 500,000 of active wallet addresses worldwide. It's just a few people. And it's not going to be easy to promote a product that's ahead of its time, but who does and does the hard work right now, man, in a couple of years, they're going to get a big reward. And now with the new product, I think it's, you know, stupid simple. You just have a normal phone with Android, you just double click on an app, it goes into the virtual machine with the secure operating system, you do your stuff in there, you finish, you double click, you go back. What else do you want?
Well, you studied robotics, so the AI integration that we did in the last phone, I think that's a very interesting part.
I can't wait to test it. I told the guys, when you get the phones, I want to have it from day one, because, you know, I'm a big fan of stand-up comedy per se, and I always said, if I want to train an AI model, I'm just gonna feed him data from all the stand-up comedians all over the world. So when it answers in that certain way, you know, to get a funny answer, because everybody's or almost everybody, because in here, guys, you're really funny, but I used to work in different groups where everybody was really serious, you know. And if you can make fun of yourself, first of all, it's not gonna be easy. And in here, with the AI that we can train ourselves, there's one more component. People are happy when they use all the AI models that are out there, you know, from the big companies, but they fail to realize that we give all the data away. We keep learning, and we give everything away. People just feed the robots with, I was watching online companies that put like confidential documents to ChatGPT or, you know, to Bard and all the big ones, just to have the AI help them to do some statistics. But those documents, those data sheets, they go out there and they're gonna be available for everybody. But in here, you can train your own AI and have it just for you.
Yes.
And that's privacy. And the fact that it's gamification and you can level up and you can teach in multiple languages, you know, transfer it to a friend but get it back and stuff like that, it's, for me as a gamer, it's
Is there another feature that makes you enthusiastic?
Yeah, the photos as NFTs. I used to have a YouTube show about NFTs with a friend of mine, Andy. Was called It's NF Time, and we started it 2 years ago, and we kept it for every single week, once a week, for more than a year. And I think it was one of the first in Romania. We were really into NFTs, trying to teach people about the NFTs for real, not promoting certain projects per se, just talking about some projects after they launched. Because there's a difference. Like the way I see the NFT is just the digital certificate that states that you are the true owner of something, and nobody can take that away because it's encrypted and it's on the blockchain. And talking in the show, we had also a few guests, and we got to talk with a lot of people, and we got to talk with some photographers. And few of them said, well, for us as a utility, it would be really cool, like when we make our photos, because for some of us, we just travel around the world and we wait for like a couple of days to get the perfect shot. And sometimes they get stolen. And for us, it will be really cool when we download our photos, when they download, to just be put on the blockchain as NFTs. Because when you have it on the blockchain, you have a timestamp, you have the time. And now with the new phone, like you make a photo, you go into your gallery, and you're gonna have just press of a button, seamless technology, mint on blockchain. And you're gonna have your photo as an NFT on a blockchain. That's really cool. Really cool.
I'm very curious about this. How many NFTs we'll have in the world after the
Probably a lot.
after the Evo is out on the market?
Probably a lot. But that will also help the people understand that it's not about those 10K collections that you buy just to sell it.
It's about ownership.
It's about ownership, exactly.
Yeah, we wanted to come with a solution for this problem, because in these years that we are tackling the technology field, we realize that ownership is a problem that needs to be addressed.
And it's getting to be a bigger and bigger problem now with the AI image generation models, because those models are feeding on data from us, like the Facebook, the Meta AI generation image generation model got to teach everything on the photos that we put in there. So probably somebody at the other end of the world might get a photo just pretty similar to yours, because the AI learn on your images, and maybe they make a lot of money with it. And you can't prove that it was yours unless you have it as an NFT on the blockchain. And I'm sure that in the years that are going to come, there are going to be some modification in the legislation that you can prove and you can get ownership of that based on that.
If at this moment an AI program will take your photo, which is minted NFT, and just modify it a bit and put it back on the internet, you cannot call it illegal.
No,
Right.
So far it's only immoral. It's not illegal. We need the legislation for it.
Like in the music field.
Exactly. And it's gonna come, because one of the narrative is like, at every 4 or 5 years when we have election all over the world, there's gonna be a category of people, one issue voters, that you're gonna have on your side if you solve their biggest problem. And in this period is the crypto people, the blockchain people, the NFT people, the metaverse. So the regulations are gonna come. We have in the European Union the MiCA regulation that started to start its engines, but it's gonna take some time, because it's new for everybody, first of all, and second of all, the people building the laws, most of them are 50, 60, in their 60s and stuff like that, and it takes a bit longer for them to understand what the hell is going on, because everything is so fast. It's developing so fast.
Yeah, I was talking with a friend about how the phones were looking like 10 years ago, and we were not imagining what we'll have in 10 years. regarding technology.
100%.
But how hard it is for you, a guy who is working with people, who is a seller, how hard is to explain technology?
For me, it's not hard to explain the technology. It's a bit harder to try to figure out if the person really understood, because most of us have big egos, and even though sometimes we don't understand, we say we do. Yeah, you're asking somebody, do you understand? And they say yeah. And trying to be polite, you don't go with the next question, okay, what did I say? Because then you're gonna figure out if they understood or not. And sometimes you really need to pay attention not to the answer that the people give you if they understood, but to the body language. Because if you feel like they're looking through you, not at you, it means they didn't understand. And then you need to find another way how to explain it. Because yeah, you know, they say if you can't explain it for a 10-year-old to understand, it means you didn't understand it yourself. And with what we have with blockchain and AI and everything, well, I don't fully understand it so far. I understand some, but I'm reading some more. And it's trial and error. You know, I communicate a lot with my mom, and I tend to see what she understands about what I'm doing. Because in 2020, when I was speaking with her, it made no sense. My mom, she's a kindergarten teacher. She's been doing this job for more than 40 years. So she didn't have any technical background, you know, like if I want to do something to help her with her laptop, she knows she can log in on TeamViewer and I do the rest. But now, little by little, she starts to understand.
I look at my parents and I see the same thing. Like 10 years ago, they had no idea how to start a computer. And now they are using software for video calls to talk to each other if they're not in the same place or something like this.
Yeah.
So they're becoming less and less reluctant. But, you know, this is just a little example about my parents. I see them every week. But you are meeting different people every day and you see different reactions. So you fully understand the products that ZiXXar is selling, the products that were developed by CryptoData. Which is the general opinion of the people that you are meeting towards CryptoData's products?
Well, it's enthusiasm at first until they start installing what they need to install. Then it's a freak out moment, even if it's simple, because people are used to buying a phone and just open it and everything is in there. Even though with normal phone from the big company, it's pretty much the same. You install some stuff. And what we are supposed to get good at is make an onboard system, wizard system for the people, to make them understand that it's easy. What I keep telling people is like, take it with small steps. Get one product, use it a little bit. You don't know how to use it at first, meet with somebody who's used one before, let them teach you how to. And keep it like, get a phone, keep it as your first phone for a couple of days. See if you miss something that you used to have. Because otherwise, like, we are amongst the first in our field to do like secure phone. I don't want to say the first ones because we don't know who's out there building something new, but we are amongst the first ones. And it's not easy when you are ahead of your time, because even though you're really smart as a group and you think from every point of view, it's just a group of people that should build something for the masses. And every time somebody from the masses can find something else that they don't understand. We have really non-technical people that just call and they're like, I bought a product. What I do now? And you can start with a joke, just plug it in first, charge it, But I think you guys figured it out how to build simpler and simpler to use products. Because like now with the new phone and with the watch and everything that's gonna come next, it's gonna be easy. You know, how hard it is for somebody, if you have a gallery, to press a button to mint an NFT. Because at the end of the day, the blockchain technology should be seamless. Like a normal person, when using the blockchain technology, shouldn't feel a difference of what they used before. It should be just in the background, to have everything decentralized, to have everything encrypted. Like when you use our Whisper chat application and you use the other ones, the look and feel shouldn't be different. And this should be also with the devices. And I think we're getting there.
That was the point of the company too, to make the technology more approachable for people, because they need security. We all need security. The point is that maybe we are not fully aware that we need it online. We are used just to press accept all condition because, like you said, is the need for instant gratification, and I want to use an app or a software now. The first steps in configuring CryptoData's phone, let's say they were a bit more complex, but just because for that security need. I think at this moment, the Hyder Evo is like any other smartphone, but
smart,
more secure. And this is what people should understand. It's not about how it looks, how it feels. At this moment, Hyder Evo looks and feels great. It's what software you're using on it. And to be honest, Hyder Evo has the best looking software so now.
It looks great.
And the features that the smartphone will have on it, they're unique. I haven't heard until this moment a phone that can create NFTs
and
on an instant.
I think if somebody, when they watch us, they go back and they watch the podcast with Bogdan and Ovidiu, and then the podcast with Sebi, our CTO, they'll understand why.
Yes.
100%. But most of the people fail to understand we really need security. There are still people that send money to a Nigerian prince, because they're gonna get millions. Because we're gullible,
That's something related to the nature, to the human nature.
It's not that they fail to realize they need security, but sometimes when you go to a person and you say, well, you really need something secured, their ego kicks in. What do you mean I need something secure? You mean that what I use is not secure? You mean I'm not so smart? And when their ego goes up, the IQ goes down, and they don't listen anymore. So I think the best approach will be for us to use it. Like I switched from Android phones to iOS and Apple products, 5-6 years ago, just for the whole ecosystem. Even though prior to that, I only used Android phones. For 6 years, I was a programmer using Linux and open software. Our company was a official partner with Red Hat. We only used like open source software. So I know the difference in between the two. For me, when the new phone goes out, when we have it, I will start using it. Because right now we're starting to have the ecosystem. Because getting back to the people getting reluctant to when we say to them, you need security, the only way for you to make them understand that they need this is for you to use it when you talk to them. It all starts with us. So you're gonna see me with an Android phone and our operating system inside it and everything, speaking like crazy to my phone because I'm gonna train my AI model. Because I really like the gaming part of it. Like probably instead of playing 1 hour in the evening just to relax a little bit, I'm gonna cut it to half an hour and then I'm gonna train my phone for half.
And you will make a movie, how to train your AI. Right. How is the product for the affiliate marketing. Well, it's a term that usually we are avoiding
Yeah.
because we have bad examples in the history. But the idea is great, and like you said, it's more about people getting together, sharing ideas, growing together, right? Getting a better version of yourself. And you're a very experienced individual in this field. How it was to promote this kind of technology rather something else, like a perfume or I don't know, whatever product?
Not easy, but not because of the product, but because the fact that when it comes to your phone, you are addicted to a brand. People, like, you can see people arguing for days, which is better, in between the two or three. It's the same like people argue which is better, Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi, in every field. And doesn't matter how good another product is, most of the people, they tend to stick to their brand when it comes to the phone. It's easier for them when it comes to the watch, because you can use other watches. Like, I've been having my Garmin triathlon watches and everything when I was doing my races. For me, it was easy because I'm part of the technology, and people also say in network marketing, in affiliate marketing, well, it's an advantage for you because you're a tech guy. But it's just an advantage on the short term. On the long term, it's a disadvantage, even though it doesn't sound this way. And I'm going to tell you why. The biggest secret in network marketing to have success is to create duplication. You cannot do everything yourself because you cannot scale it. And it's easier to create duplication when you have a bit of success selling tech products when you are a non-technical guy, because everybody understands that they can do it as well. But when you have a full technical background, people will say, well, it's okay for you to have success because you had this background. But for me, for sure, it's not going to work this way. So on the long term, it works in your disadvantage. I have to dial it down to try somehow to speak in really non-technical terms, even though I'm not the most technical guy. Like, I quit writing code 6 years ago. There's a lot more smarter people than myself. But given the fact that in the last 20 to 25 years, that was my thing that's stuck, tech. Sometimes I find myself just speaking in technical terms, switching to English without knowing, because we also have this Rom English in Romanian. So it wasn't so easy overall to speak about the products for myself, but it was interesting to see people that they are like, okay, so you are in a network marketing company. We understand that because we know your background. What do you sell? We'll have secured phones and watches and laptop with blockchain on them. And suddenly they are like, oh, interesting. Who makes them? Well, it's a Romanian company. Really? Yeah, and they've been on the market for like 10 years or so. Oh, they're interesting to understand more about the company. They're a bit reluctant, when they need to have some more that they need to learn in the beginning. But with the new devices, they can just come downstairs to the showroom. They can just see for 5 minutes what they're about, and it's problem solved.
Cosmin, so you have 2 years knowing the company and 1 year actually working with ZiXXar. How was the ZiXXar experience so far for you?
It's an interesting process because I got to see it pretty much from the get-go, from the community point of view, at least in Europe, because in Asia you guys have already a community. And the way I see it, I think is the most important moment, because if you build a community with the right principles and values, then it's gonna be easier to grow it. If you start wrong, you're gonna spend a lot more time to fix it once the people and the numbers show up, because it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time. And that's what we've done. Like, we were speaking earlier about the industry in its whole, like the network marketing industry. it has not such a nice image from two main reasons. One of them is that the non-legit projects or the scams, they just put on an image that they run like a network marketing company, but they're actually scams, and that's one of the reasons. But actually, the biggest reason why this industry has a tough image, let's say, it's because some of the people are willing to sell at any cost. They don't care about anything, you know. And I got to see it from outside because I've been studying a lot of companies when I jumped into in this industry, and I switched from my expertise, which is on the other side in here working with people. I was checking a lot of companies, like legacy companies, to see what they did different, and this was the only thing I found out they did different. They built with the right principles and values in their mind. The way our main trainer, when we are building the travel company, used to teach us: under promise and over deliver. That's, I think, the best approach. And what I loved in here is that I realized that most of the people don't understand that they come with the peace of mind to build a secondary source of income, but what happens to most of them is that they build themselves. I've been meeting a lot of people that maybe they didn't have results in a business, but after a few years they realized that they were better at their job, they understand people better, they were promoted, they were making more money from their actual job, and the only difference in their life that helped them to achieve this was this industry. And I think this is the most important thing, because the average in the network marketing industry, or it used to be before the pandemic, maybe it grew, but I don't think by much, the average networker has 1.4 sales in his whole career. So this means that most of the people are just clients. Some of them are gonna build your business. And this is actually a strong point of view, because like, if everybody wants to sell, people are just gonna sell. But if you have a strong product and there's a lot more people that use the product as clients than the people selling the products, it means that the products are strong. And I think this will happen here as well.
Would you call it another way to make marketing? Because in my opinion, you have like thousands of different marketing styles under the same umbrella, with the main purpose to promote a service, to promote a phone, in our case, to sell something. Yeah. Because marketing, it's a science, but in the same time, you don't know if you apply like a huge arsenal of marketing techniques, if you will have the results, right? At least this is my opinion from my point of view, from where I stand. I can put a lot of money into marketing and have zero results. Yeah. But here, individuals like you guys have the drive to build something, to make something that will last, to create revenue from it. And you are not selling pieces of moon. We are selling actual products that we can deliver.
That's really cool. And you're totally right. There's tons of types of marketing. And like, if I just don't take AI into consideration, because who knows, maybe AI in a couple of years will find something new if they surpass us, if we go to the AGI, the general intelligence. If I put that aside, the way I see it, network marketing, it's the best form of marketing, because everybody invests in commercials, different forms, marketing commercials. As you said, maybe they don't have any returns, but in here you are only paid after you made a sale. So it's actually a commercial that you pay for after the sale. It's the best return of investment, is because if people don't sell it, you don't pay them. So it's actually the best one. Because that was my first question when I got to meet Ovidiu and Bogdan. Why did you switch from classical marketing to network marketing? And that was the answer. Well, we invested a lot in classical marketing, and sometimes you don't get any returns because you don't have all the points of the followers of an influencer to see if they're actually your type of clients. And there's another reason. The statistics say that you are a lot more inclined to buy something from a friend because you trust that friend. And if you don't even want to hear what your friend has to buy, maybe he's not your friend after all. It works both ways. So nice journey. We're still in the beginning, building the community. Most important thing I think is to build on the right values and to find a way to communicate in between the community and the company building the products, to have somebody in between that can just go both ways.
Well, if you have a lot of people working in this type of organization, you will have some issues with technology at some point, right? Yeah. So we are accustomed with the support services. We know that at some point, I don't know, a payment will not get through, or you will have an error or something like this. And because all of the organization is based on the ZiXXar platform and all the acquisition and everything is done there, how was that experience? What is your opinion and the user's opinion about the platform?
First of all, the platform is huge and it's being built so fast that it's hard sometimes for some people to keep up. This is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, because I've been seeing companies that took for like 1 or 2 years just to change some small details. In here, it goes crazy fast. It goes so fast that when we got the app version of ZiXXar, this is the funniest story. Like, we got into a Zoom call and Bogdan told us, hey, we're gonna build the Android app. We're gonna launch it in a couple of weeks, and 1 month after that, we're gonna have also the iOS version for it. We did a Zoom, we announced the Android app, it got launched, and I think 5 or 6 weeks after, I was wondering about the iOS app when it will show up, and one of the guys told me, but it's already on. It's been on the market for 2 weeks, because we said we're gonna launch it after 1 month. And I was like, man, like, it's really there, It's the communication that we need to have it to go through all the people, because the execution is there. But for sure, when you build big things, you break things, It's part of the process. Me, with the technical background that I had, given the fact that at my first job where I stayed for almost 6 years, I was like, from the beginning of that company, it was 5 founders and 3 employees. I was one of them. And we were one-man show, each of us. Like I was doing front end, I was doing back end, I was doing the database, and I was speaking with the clients. And at that point, it was pissing me off because it was totally different thing. I had to go and get a master degree in databases in Oracle because I needed to understand that part, because I didn't know that part. But now, after some years, I understand that I think that was the best thing that happened to me, because it made it easier for me to understand from everybody's point of view. So to get back in here, what happened is that Manu, together with me, were gathering the feedback from the market, pass it on to the company, because you need to filter what comes, especially because most of the time there's the same question from a lot of people, or sometimes there's a question that's not legit. It's just somebody just asking something out of the blue just because they want to have those 15 minutes of fame, And then we gather it. We come here in the company. I'm blessed enough to live in the same city. It only takes like 2-3 hours depending on the traffic to get here, even though I live close by. That was our second role, because we understood that it can help everybody. If you have a few people that can understand the market needs, but in the same time understand the way the company operates, then you can, we can be that land in between to go both ways to make things better. And it's gonna take a few months, a few years to have it smooth. It's normal, but it's not like in the meantime things stop. Like right now, in the time we're filming this podcast, the ZiXXar platform is getting, a new backend, modular backend, and when a new module is ready, it's just getting uploaded. But most of the people don't realize that something changed up front. So it's getting better and better without people knowing it until they just click on that specific module that got changed. That's something really cool, because most of the companies, the way I know it, they just say we're gonna run on the old one until the new one is ready, and then we're just gonna switch to the new one. And it's gonna be pretty hard, because if you do it like this, the new one will have nothing to do with the old one. The look and feel, it's gonna be totally different. Even if you wanna make it to look similar, you won't be able to do it if you do it from scratch. And then you're gonna need to have a different onboard process to make people understand how the new one works, and for them to forget all the old habits. So I think it's pretty cool this way.
The platform itself was built on the gamification idea. All the people have something in common. So there are few aspects that we all have in common. We do eat, we do drink water, and we do sleep, and we play.
Yeah.
Right. So at some age, we play. You and me, we continue to play for now, different games. Is this idea making the platform more approachable? Because it's something unique. There is no networking platform to use this kind of concept. It is more approachable for the users. Are they more enthusiastic about using it? Have you felt any differences regarding the ages of the users, how they look at the platform?
I think it's the best approach in any business. I think the onboarding process of blockchain through NFTs and metaverse and everything will be through gaming as well. Because even if you go on the street and you ask 10% if they're gamers, probably one or two will say yes, but everybody's playing some games, only that they don't consider themselves gamers. Everybody likes a gamification process, just that some of them are a bit reluctant in the beginning because they don't know the game yet. But when they teach the game, they will play it for sure. 100%. I think is one of the few approaches that can grow something exponentially when it comes to the onboarding process, because otherwise it keeps their mind into the technical parts, like, oh, this is hard, I need to learn this, I need to learn this. But if you do it through a gamification process, they will focus on playing and they will learn through play, and this makes a lot more sense for everybody. And yeah, right now, because I know we have a lot of new stuff coming on the platform, and it's gonna glue the whole ecosystem that is building on, and probably it's gonna take a few bits longer, let's put it this way. But when it's gonna come, when a new client, a new customer is gonna come to the platform, and they're gonna find an ecosystem with products, with services encrypted on blockchain with security, and they can play with them, not just use them, I think that can be a home run for everybody.
We are looking forward for that moment. But games have bugs. You can encounter some issues with the game. So our users are coming back to the support when a service is not working properly or something like this. And because the transition from an old version of the platform to a new one, it can take some time, or you need 100%. A specific period of time to migrate everything from the old version to the new version. And we were discussing about instant gratification. This happens here too. And we can understand that people usually they have no idea which is the effort behind the scenes to make this happen.
Yeah.
But you can understand this because you have the training, you have the background, and nothing can be done just snapping your fingers. You just need more time. Have you had experience with the support, with the support department? How was that for you?
Well, sometimes myself included is the department, the support department. Well, for me, it's going smooth, and this is why we try to make people understand that myself and Manu, we also created a relationship with you guys, because sometimes it's not what you say, it's the way you say, you know. And normally when somebody who doesn't know, you know, the team finds a bug on a platform, the way they put it in support is not so nice, you know. On the other hand, and on the other side, it's somebody else who's receiving that feedback, who maybe has a lot of tasks to do, and the only way for him to grow into priority your task and to put it up front is if you ask nicely. So we understood that, and we try to make everybody understand that, you know, every leader that has a big group can gather the feedback, who can pass it on to another leader, who can pass it on to somebody else, so it reaches the person that can speak nicely to the company because it understands what's happening. That's kind of my role so far in here, if I put aside the building and the trainings, because bugs are inevitable. Like we had, when I was a programmer, we had, you know, a poster on a wall which said like there's 10 bugs on the wall, you solve one of the bugs, you have 12 bugs on the wall, like, because every time you solve something else might break, you know. And you need a whole process. When we were building something, when I was working a bug in the bank, we had the dev server, then it was going to the test server and the test and everything, then it was going to the pre-live server, which was a clone of the live server, but we need to see if everything was working in there, and only after that we were migrating it to the live server. And the whole process took like 2-3 weeks, because bureaucracy, you know, and different procedures are good, but they should be faster, you know. In here, what I saw really big speed in execution if you ask nicely. Because if you ask nicely, how can I put it? You make the developer and, you know, the company understand that you actually respect the work they're doing. Because I don't think there's, you know, even if you read through history, besides Tesla, there's been nobody who was building something and it was impeccable from the get-go. This is the way it goes. Like, you build something, then you test it, and you solve the bugs. And it's the same in here. And I'm going through the platform on a regular basis when new stuff show up and pinpointing the bugs. What can help the community a lot is just one thing on the platform. When we also talk about non-technical people, specific error messages. If their error message is really specific, then it's easier for them to communicate what happened. Because otherwise, sometimes it's hard to understand what happened to that person.
It's hard to understand what the actual problem is.
Yeah. So you can duplicate, you know, the situation, so you can see how you can fix it. So if you have really specific error messages for everything, just to be a little bit different, through that message you can just go back to see what code is not right.
This should be a good idea for the next version of the platform, to just make the whole process easier. But, you know, like you said, when somebody has a problem, you can tell him, well, plug in the device.
Yeah, restart it.
A lot of things are on this pattern, you know, easy things that are not explained correctly, but the company is setting up the support department for success.
Yeah.
So they are taking all the problems that they had, put them into specific folders with the specific answer for that issue. And with the new version, everything should work smoother.
For sure.
Regarding this, from the experience that you had with customers, do they need a wizard for the functions that the platform offers? Like you said, it's a huge platform.
Yeah.
A lot of things that are maybe not easy to wrap your mind around them if you don't have a bit of experience with games or with network marketing. This should be a point.
Yeah, for sure. Because some of the people don't understand and some of the people are lazy and they don't try to understand enough. Now, I'm not trying to be rude to say somebody is lazy because he's just being lazy. Maybe somebody is lazy because they work a lot in their daily job and stuff like that, and here they just want to find everything simple. And we are gonna work on this part and have specific short videos like animation, and also with the descriptive text in different documents, because we as human beings are visual or audible, or kinesthetic, but most of the people are visual. So if you build something visual with an animation and stuff like that, your brain at a certain point will remember, I don't know, maybe a frame or two, and next time you have the same problem, you'll know where to go to find your answer. There are a category of people who want to have everything written down. They are visual, but like me in college per se, like I was photographing my courses and my schematics and everything because I'm visual. And I remember, well, yeah, in the bottom part of the second page, I had the schematic and I need to draw that. That's the way my brain used to work for that specific task. So we're also gonna have like, different documents for the people to be able to read and go step by step. And there are gonna be some few key elements in the beginning that should be like step by step. You go here you can just find this in your account. You can do your KYC because it's really important in the beginning. You can find the products in here. You can buy this type of products. We're gonna have these types of NFTs, these collections, these classes, these buffs of NFTs, that because even this, like, I try to make people understand that in here you can have like an NFT buff that can give you something extra, meaning like you have a 3% discount buff NFT. What does this mean? Well, if I own that NFT and I buy a product from the platform, I have that extra discount, and it's just one type. Or us that used to play also MMORPGs like World of Warcraft and Lineage and stuff like that, you have a buff with aura discount, meaning like if I own that NFT and I gave you the link and you enrolled and you are my direct enrollment, you are gonna have that discount because I own that NFT. That's in the network marketing industry. I've never heard of this. That's gamification 101. And when people start to understand this, they're like, oh, cool. So like, what do I need to be able to earn a bigger percentage buff? Well, I need to achieve this rank. I need to do that. Engages people. We have the achievement page. Most of the people don't know about the achievement page. Like, you need to go through some achievements, and when you checked one of the achievements, you get an NFT as a present, and that NFT can have some extra something. Maybe it has a value card of like, I don't know, 5K or so. Well, that helps a lot on the long term because it keeps people engaged.
Talking about keeping people engaged, how important is the training in this business?
We used to say, and I think it still applies in the whole industry, you build your business from training to training. Because like on a daily basis, you talk one-on-one or you make small, gatherings, and you teach people some things, but you're limited on the time, or the people only find out so much from you. And you grow, and then you go to a training where people get the new vision, first of all, because you cannot get bigger than your vision. If in your mind you're at this level, it's gonna be close to impossible to surpass that level. Even if you go through it, you're gonna come back. The same what happens with people who win the lottery. If their mind is not ready for those money, they're gonna lose it back again. I know it's cliche and it's been said for tens of years, but maybe this is the reason why people keep saying it, because it's true. You need to train your mind, first of all. And in here, man, the training system that we built, this is the main reason I came in the first place. Because we came as a group, and I was part of the group, to talk here and to say that we can build a training system, and through that training system, we can all grow and build a strong community. And the satellite events that we have, that's another thing, another really amazing thing, the way I see it. Because the bad thing with trainings sometimes in the network marketing industry is that people do the trainings just to get the money from the tickets, not for the information from the training. And when we started here, we told the guys, when we spoke with Bogdan and Ovidiu, all these things. And having an automatic system solves everything. Because normally when you don't put it as a system, if something goes wrong, nobody will say it was my fault. Everybody will say it's your fault because it doesn't work for me. But when you put it as a system and it works the same for everybody, if you fail to comply, if you don't get results, you understand that you need to work on yourself. And the way we have it here, like we have the small, medium, big events, like depending on the number of participants, and the company actually gives you money and gifts in products and services to organize that event. Man, that's the way to grow. Like, the company doesn't make the events to make money out of them. They give money to grow the community. It's the pinnacle of growing. And yeah,
How I see it is not about the specific information that you can pass regarding a phone, the technical characteristics. It's more about getting the vision of the company,
exactly.
getting together with other networkers, growing together.
Yeah.
And it's probably about that vibe that you mentioned earlier
100%.
that creates there.
That great vibe comes on in international events, because I've been like from 2014 to 2020, I've been to like 35 international events outside the country and outside the continent. And I realized this: when you go somewhere that's outside your comfort zone, like home, and you have like a 2 or 3 days event, or the trip all together, you keep your mind in that place. Because like if you have a local event, even if it's a 2 days event, in the evening you go home and you go to your normal problems to solve and tasks to do, and your mind shifts back to your comfort zone. And then the second morning when you go, you start from the get-go. But when you go to an international event, in the evening you're gonna be still with the people in a neutral territory. So it helps your mind to stay there, and the second day and the third day, and how much you stay there, you keep on growing, and then you start to understand the right questions to ask yourself, because no training will teach you what to build. The training, they just teach you how to understand yourself, because you're the only one responsible on what you're building.
I will ask you something that I discussed with Seb a few weeks ago, and it's about artificial intelligence. You have the background, you studied robotics. How do you see the AGI? It can be harmful for humankind. We are already used to feel comfortable, to have services that deliver the food to your door, to have robots that can do your work. Where we will go with the technology?
Well, it's scary, first of all, because it's called AI because it's artificial, meaning like it gets data from us and learns. Now, in the last few years, the overall macro humanity vibe, I think it went a lot down, because before the pandemic things were better, not in every corner of the world, because there have been some parts of the world that have been at war and hunger, and but in the Western society, let's put it this way, it was all good. And when everything is good and you have the certainty of where to sleep, nothing bad is gonna happen to you, you tend to go in the top of the Maslow pyramid of needs, and that's contribution. You feel like, okay, I'm good, I can help others. But when something like the pandemic comes, you go back to the basic needs. You first need to be safe. And when you do that, it's everybody for himself. It's like the gaming free for all, no teams anymore. And it's in this period that the AI started to grow like crazy, and it's probably in the first bits gonna be thought with this mentality in mind. I don't know if I can say it, mentality. And with AGI, to have a robot that can do what a human brain can do and be 24/7 up there, man, it's interesting times. I'm blessed to be living these times together with you guys, but it's gonna be interesting times, because who fails to adapt is gonna be left behind. And it's gonna be, for us it's a bit easier. For the youngsters it's really easy, but for our parents, let's say, it's gonna be really complicated, because the way they grew up, it was uncertainty long term. Like, you were studying a couple of years and you got a job, and you used to work that job for 40 years. Now people switch careers at every 5-10 years. With what happened in the last years and with AI, we're gonna be switching, different areas, I don't know, every 2-3 years.
Yeah, hopefully we will still have a job.
Hope so. We are blessed to have Sebi here in the company, because he's been studying it really in detail, what's happening. And but yeah, we're gonna have, but it's also gonna be easier for us, because you can use it as a really powerful tool.
Yeah, to do good, but in the same time you have different means that can be used for not so good things.
Because there are people in this world that don't think that there is good or bad. They just think that if I can do something, I can do something. And if somebody trains a model with that mentality in mind,
so we will see the results, how the user will train the avatars that they will have on Evo. How do you see ZiXXar in 10 years? Where do you see it in 10 years? Let's say 5, not 10. Let's say 5.
A whole ecosystem. I would love to have it this way. A full functioning ecosystem that can really help you. Because there's a lot of businesses nowadays that stretch a need just to justify that they produce something. The need is not actually out there, and most of the crypto projects have done so, because otherwise they couldn't justify why they launched a specific coin, But when you launch something for real and you build an ecosystem, I know that people are gonna say, yeah, but there's already some companies that have their own ecosystem. Yeah, of course. But we need diversity, because if everybody would be the same, man, it will be so boring. Imagine everybody to be able to do the same thing. Hope it doesn't happen with a plugin and AI and everything. But I see it with a whole functioning ecosystem, and with a whole lot of gamification models. Because one of the things I was paying attention when meeting the team was the drive and the strength of the team, also based on the age of the team. And everybody is really young, powerful, having a lot of financial freedom, but that didn't change them. Because if you really want to understand how a human being operates, you should see them in their bull market and their bear market in their life, because people tend to change when they're cornered, And the way I see it right now, the only thing we need to do in order to have this great thing that shapes itself already is to find a way to smoothly communicate in between the company, which is a corporation, and the community, which is an entity in its own, but every person in the community believes that they are the most important. Like before Copernicus, everybody thinks that everything revolves around themselves, because social media taught us that.
Yeah.
And if we find this,
yeah, but in the same time, that particular position is not an elevated support. This is the problem, because that person who stands between the company and the community is not acting as a support. It's more or less a board position, and not troubleshooting issues on the platform. This is a message which should get to the community, because at that level, probably it's more important to have business actions discussed.
100%. And the leadership that is going to show up, like building the business, you get through the ranks and you achieve some ranks which bring with themselves cash in hand. And when people have the financial freedom to building here, they should, I don't want to say they must, even though I believe that, but they should be that land in between, because you're being a leader because you have a big community which helped you achieve your financial freedom. Now it's up to you to be the person in between the company and them, to help them as well. This is the way you grow. The moment you fail to realize that the most important person is the newest person that joined, you're on your way back.
Cosmin, the company is trying to maintain a close relationship with the customers, with the leaders. The communication is very open, but everything can be done better, right? So, like you said, the person who stands between the company and the community should make things go easier both ways. But in the same time, that person is not an elevated support, and usually this is the problem, because that person is bombarded with support questions. And this is what we should train. That position should be more business oriented.
100%.
And the communication should be more business oriented.
100%. And you can earn some badges on it. The way I see it, right now we're in the beginning, so it's a job that a few people can manage to do it if you're really organized on it. But when the community is gonna grow like crazy, it should be a big force in between. It should be a community in between the company and the community, because the way I see it is like this: the most important person in a business is the newest customer, because if you can make the newest customer happy so he can stay, he's gonna bring more friends, because we are social beings. You tend to bring your friends close to you if you feel accepted in a place and you feel that you get value from that place. The more new people come in, the more leaders we're gonna have, because if you build a stronger team, you're gonna make more money, you're gonna achieve more ranks. And I think this should be the community in between, the leaders that are gonna show up. Now I understand that some of the people that are gonna go through the ranks are not technical people, but nothing is impossible. The way I see it, from my point of view, it's a must, but let's say they should, not they must. The leaders that are gonna come up, they should try to understand more and better, because it's on them to get the feedback from the community and to pass it on to the company, and then to get the answer back to the community, because the trust, it's on them. People trust us because they follow us, and it's on them to keep the trust high, because sometimes you won't be able to fix a thing in a day or two. Even if you want to fix it like this, maybe it's not possible. Maybe you have some more urgent matters to fix before. Maybe fixing something right now won't be possible because you tend to change, let's say, a new model on the platform, and this fix, it's on that module, and it doesn't make sense to fix it just right now for 2-3 days, 1 week, because you're gonna have a new one in a week or so. And if people are explained, they have this explanation and they understand what's happening, they will have more patience. The way I see it, people lack patience when they don't know what's happening, the uncertainty of it. You know, when we were closed in our homes a couple of years ago, it wasn't staying in a home that was bothering the people, because prior to that you would love to stay and work from home. It was the question, how long am I gonna stay in home, that was making people going crazy and wanting to go outside. It was just the uncertainty of it. So if like the leaders in between, you just, you know, go back and forth from the company to community and the other way around, and they explain and they make everything as clear as possible, thing will get better and better. They will never be perfect, because working with big numbers of people, with masses, it can never be perfect, because we are so different that it's impossible to make everybody happy. I don't think it can be done.
That's the perfect solution for in success, to try to make everybody happy.
Exactly.
Yeah. We took the polls. We took the polls at some events that we had, and you were talking about new members who are joining.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that you had the occasion to speak with new members. How have you felt them?
There's two categories of people. There's new people coming in that it's the first time they hear about networking. And it's the second category, which are people that have gone through other companies, and from one reason or another they made a change and now they are here. Now, when we talk about the second category, people tend to put a filter in between, and that filter, it's created based on their past experiences, and they have higher expectancies because they have been here for a while. Now, for those people, it's not so important how good the products work in their first release, because they understand that the products are gonna get better. For them, it's more important to understand the seriousness of the company and the long-term plan, because they come with an experience, but most of all, they come with the trust in here, and that trust is gonna be followed by more people. So for them, it's more about like, has the company done the plans for the next 5 years? Is this product gonna be outperformed by the new product and stuff like that? Now, when we talk about the first category, people that are the first time here, I saw really big enthusiasm. Like when we had our last event in Barcelona, the company released bits, and like there are companies that stretch it for like 7-8 hours to release 1-2 thing, and you guys have been on the stage for like 2 hours, and it was release after release after release after release. And I think this shows respect to the people, because you don't want to just fill up some, you know, time spaces just to be there and to say that it was fancy and you stayed for like 10 days. You guys were just spot on. We built this, it's gonna do this, it's gonna be launched on this day, it's gonna be shipped on this day. It's spot on. I don't know, maybe some people want to be, you know, tampered with for a while, like foreplay. The way I see it, it's just great. And also the second category, you know, the people with experience, once they understand the seriousness of the company, the brand that the company created, and they surpass that reluctancy, because maybe some of them had issues in the past. Maybe they've been in a company that, I don't know, went bankrupt. What happened with mine? It wasn't the company's fault. It was, you know, a context, and it happened. But it's close to impossible not to make comparisons in between the two. But once these people understand what's happening in here, man, they're enthusiastic. Like the people with the highest rank in the community we built, it's two people that together have more than 25 years of experience in network marketing. I know them for a long time, and they are so enthusiastic about what's gonna come.
Well, I am too, and I'm very enthusiastic about the next event that we'll have in Dubai. Right, it was announced at Barcelona, and it will not be just a standalone event. The company is preparing more surprises for that. It will be a blast.
Yeah.
It will be in February, and we will have so much fun there, and we will see new things that the company is preparing.
And it's gonna be told after that.
It's gonna be told or untold. We will see. The thing is that the company is trying to build a healthy environment. So the culture of organization relies on the principles that we established 10 years ago. And we are still focused on that. We will not change things just to make more money. We will be client oriented. And like you said, we are supporting the community. If they want to organize events, we will support them. And it's not about money, it's about that feeling that we were discussing in the beginning to be a part of something bigger than you. And how I look at it is ZiXXar and what ZiXXar is promoting is something bigger than us. And I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, likewise.
Thank you for your time, Cosmin. I'm pretty sure that this was the first time, and the second time when we will meet here, we will have a lot of products on the table to discuss about them and share some experiences from Dubai. As parting thoughts, what do you have for our community, for your friends, for...
I would have something for both sides, both for the community and the company. Me putting myself in both categories. For the community to understand that you can do everything in the correct way or in not so correct way. And there are a lot of people that try to maximize every profit they can get, sometimes with any means necessary. And the company needs to protect itself as well as any costs, because if you create a precedent on this matter, they're gonna keep showing up just to drain some money. And I am glad that people working here also having the gaming mentality and they know cheaters and everything. We have a system put in place, because if the most important thing to grow a business is not to lose the money just because somebody found a leakage in the system. And for the community, I would say this: if we build the right way, things will happen. The only thing that we don't know is how fast. If we start learning to have a bit of patience, it's gonna happen. Because on the contrary, it's like you're gonna quit, or you're gonna do something wrong and the company is gonna quit you. And you're gonna come back after a few years and you'll feel sorry that if you would have stayed, it would have been a lot better. And now for the company, I would say this: the best strategy that the company can have when building a community is to never lose trust. To build things in such a way that the community doesn't lose trust in you as a company. Because what you build in 1 month, if you destroy it, it will take 6-7 months to build it back again. Because you can build your brand or your trust in 20 years and you can lose it in half an hour. So it's gonna be a game of understanding each other. And I promise myself, as long as I'm here, I will try to be, the translator in between. But it's not enough, not close to enough. We need to be hundreds and hundreds of people in between who understand that we need to put some extra work, just because on the long term, it's gonna help everybody. Altruism in this period of time, it's not so often met, because those times have disappeared, at least in this part of the world, when you say something that you're gonna do it and you promise it's gonna happen. But there are still people that build their life with these values. So that being said, if we achieve this, I think it's gonna be great, more than great.
Cool. I'm sure that we will have great times and we will achieve important things together. Thank you for watching. And of course, I will thank Cosmin again for giving us some insight about how the problem is felt inside the organization and being part of the business. Stay tuned. Next time we will meet another important figure from the company, and we will be discussing the surprises that we are preparing for 2024.